Hi, everyone. Good morning to you. It's 8 o'clock on the start of your Tuesday. Welcome to Second Cup. Thanks for being with us. We love hearing your voice. Want to talk about a couple different things this morning. Number one, including porch pirates. There is some really brazen video, a guy being super brazen, caught on camera, I should say, stealing a package from a home on Richmond Avenue in the city's, I guess it's the Elmwood Village area.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, you kind of like, what goes through somebody's mind to allow you to do something like this?
That kind of thing's so frustrating. If it's ever happened to you, it feels so personal. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
You're expecting that package. Everyone loves coming home. Oh, I got my little package today.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
the
it's on
act
its
of
way.
opening. It's on its way. I happened to me right around Christmas. Christmas Eve, my sister's gift came, and I was like, oh, right in time. Gonna get it. Carolina Herrera perfume. Some Fenty Beauty. And I come, it literally was delivered at like 11:45, 12:23 we get home, it is gone.
So
They're
annoying.
quick with it. They've gotten so good at it. They're professional package stealers.
Then we're also going to talk about working from home. Would you take a pay cut to work from home? And then there's something else I think that we should talk about, maybe first and foremost, is pedestrian safety. Is there a spot in your community where you think, wow, this is really bad and people are going to die here? I mean, I don't mean to be dramatic about that, but like, you know, that one spot where you're like, oh my gosh, avoid at all
Something dangerous
costs.
is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So let us know what you're thinking. And first, I want to talk about some breaking traffic news that's happening right now on the southbound Grand Island Bridge. If you were just watching Aaron's traffic report on TV, you saw that on the southbound Grand Island Bridge, right near Beaver Island Parkway, there's a disabled truck, it's not a tractor trailer, disabled truck in the right-hand lane, but then an accident in the left-hand lane.
An absolute nightmare. Obviously, the bridge is not super wide.
Right.
It's only those two lanes there. So cars are now in the left lane trying to avoid the truck, and then they have to get over to the right lane. There it is right there. You can see those cars struggling. I actually just watched someone, I think maybe one of the state troopers, walk across that traffic.
And so now the truck is moving and at a snail's pace, no less, trying to get that truck out of the area so that we can at least get one lane back.
Now everyone's moving to the right lane. Just the headache you do not need if you're taking that 190 south. Okay,
so keep that in the back of your mind as you're heading out. Look at the zipper effect that this causes.
Oh.
And now here come the police, which...
Oh.
Okay, what are we doing here?
Oh boy, oh boy.
Where are they supposed to...
Okay.
Wow.
Now everyone's getting
Everyone pull over.
This truck is kind of stuck in the... Eesh.
Okay, so it looks like they're closing that left lane and allowing you back through. But now watch, the truck is struggling uphill.
Right.
So everyone's getting over now.
And that truck is stopped. Okay.
All right. So now it looks like everything is starting to clear back out. Okay. So glad that we could all watch this together in real time.
Rubbernecking.
Holy cow. Okay. Let's talk about those. Well, first, I guess we should talk about working from home. Let's talk about working from home.
Yeah, a couple people have already chimed in here about working from home, or we're talking about it earlier this morning. Do you work from home? Do you like working from home? If you don't work from home, would you consider taking a pay cut to do so?
No. You know what? Here's the thing. In a day and age where everything is so much more expensive, to me personally, I think it's more important to make the money, you know, and even perhaps at a bonus level, you know, if, you know, you're meeting your metrics, working from home just doesn't allow you to do that, I don't think.
We did it partially, right? We did it during COVID. We worked from home, but because we have the kind of jobs where you almost can't do that, we were still coming in for the most part. So I really don't know what it's like to completely have your entire situation work from home. And I have some friends who do it and absolutely love it. They have an office separate from where they, you know, sleep and where they, you know, have their personal life, and they're able to find that work-life balance and they enjoy it. Janelle, one of these people, she says, I've been working from home full time since the pandemic. She has a love-hate relationship with it. Janelle, tell us more. What do you like about it and what don't you like about it? Is it that lack of separation? Is it the social aspect of it? Because I think that's what would get me, is not seeing other people other than, you know, the people that live in my home. It's just me and the dog. So I would go crazy sitting at home all day by myself.
Aaron, our editor, says there's no way I would be able to focus either. And is that the whole thing really? I mean, there is a lot of distraction at home. There is a lot going on that you need to either take care of, or things that occupy your time other than work.
Netflix.
Yeah, exactly. Sarah says, I love it for so many reasons, but I wouldn't take a pay cut for it. So here's what the study found. 40% of people would take a pay cut of 5% or more to continue working from home. 9% would take a cut of 20%. We're talking almost a quarter of their salary cut off the bat
To work from home.
to avoid going into the office. That to me is insane.
Well, I think some people have it figured out, right? So 2020 happens, people have to make a shift. Okay, now you're working from home. If you figured out your work from home situation, if you have kids and you don't really want to be paying extra for daycare, if you don't want to be paying extra for gas, and you can figure out your situation
Sure.
at home, and you're like, you know what? I would much rather stay here and enjoy where I am than have to go in.
Listen to what Danielle has to say, because I think this is kind of interesting, and that's kind of the answer to your question, Taylor. She loves no commute. She gets to throw laundry in or prep dinner.
Mhm.
She hates that she misses out on the daily social interaction.
Right.
I'm right there with you. I get it. Like, in between meetings, you can throw something into the laundry or make lunch for yourself or, go get something ready for dinner. I understand what you're saying.
For sure.
Peter, I have a love-hate relationship with work from home. Love it as it took a break from, love it as a break from work. Did schoolwork, hate it as much as I missed the interaction, especially since I changed departments about a month before the pandemic. Right, and like you're still trying to learn who these people are,
Yeah,
what
if you have
everyone
a new
does.
coworker and you've never seen them before. What is that? Oh, Paula saying the idea of being able to do laundry. You can
Yeah.
kind of multitask. Kathy says, love it, especially
Mhm.
cold and flu season. You don't have to worry about coworkers getting you sick.
That's right. And how about being able to use your own bathroom? Yeah, no
The
kidding.
plus.
Blow it up and know exactly where that spray is, girl. I get it.
No cosmetic, you don't have to wait it out.
No, exactly. And like sweat on your way home. I get what you're saying 100% loud and clear, Paula. Now, the other thing is that women were more likely than men to take that salary reduction. But then listen to this. I can't talk. I don't know what is going on here. I keep I'm like spazzing out.
Me every day.
Workers 50 or older put the least value in working from home. So we're talking like the baby boomers, Gen Xers are the least likely to find that value. I think that's interesting.
A generational divide here. And I think it makes sense. If you grew up watching your parents go to work every day, you grew up going to work and it's all that you ever known, maybe you just are used to living a certain way.
And the other thing with those boomers and Gen Xers is that they are of a certain age where they don't have young kids anymore.
Mhm.
So they don't have to worry about daycare. They don't have to worry about the things some younger people are dealing with, like the millennials and the Gen Zers who are in the workforce. Danielle, definitely a huge lack on the social side of things. Janelle, I miss interacting in person with my coworkers. I don't like that my dog now has separation anxiety.
Let me tell
I love that I don't have to shovel my car in the morning. I love no commute. Okay.
I had the same issue. So I got my dog in 2021, January 2021. So right when COVID's happening. So she's a COVID puppy.
Mhm.
And when I started coming back to work more consistently, she was not having
remember
it. So,
that.
Oh my gosh, screaming and the crate and all that stuff. We got a lot of noise complaints.
Lori, I'm a gabber. Kathy, when you're older and have to shovel a driveway just to commute in the snow, no thanks. Different ages, different concerns, Peter says. Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was kind of an interesting part of the study, though Julie says work is an escape for her.
I wonder if people still feel that same level of burnout when they're able to work from home.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't
Is
know.
that worth it? You take a pay cut, but hey, at least I'm not having to go in there every single day and be stressed and be in that environment. Because the environment does make a big difference, especially where we work. Right?
Yeah.
It can get a little tense, it can get a little hectic, but it's a lot of people trying to get their work done. Sometimes you feed off that energy, sometimes it drains you.
I'm on this corporate committee dealing with people from really all different facets of our company. And it's interesting to see the people who are working from home and how comfortable they are in their settings. You know what I mean? Like
they got the pajama pants on.
Well, seriously, there's one guy, great mustache, has a sweatshirt on, constantly, and he's like wearing athleisure. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like if that's the work from home vibe, I'm totally in for it.
Yeah, my friend works, she works for a huge company. She does an incredible job. She's constantly doing like the crisis management, doing all these things, but she does it from her couch and she loves it.
It must be nice. Adam Campos, good morning to you, our old friend.
Adam, good morning.
Couldn't work from home, wouldn't get
early.
anything done.
Oh, well, he works.
Peter says, I get that burnout from working from home. I get that burnout from working from home. And when I do, it's called a sick day. Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Working from home also leads to burnout. You can't avoid it at this point.
I get it. Work is work, right? I mean, like, you got to make money somehow to buy things. And what if they're stolen? What if they are stolen right from your porch by somebody who is just creeping around and their sole intention is to rob you of your things?
It happened to Cindy and she goes, why do they do that? It happened to her. It's so frustrating. I'm right there with you. When it's happened to you, you understand just how painful and annoying it is. Like, what are you doing with my stuff? That's my stuff.
So I want to show you some video just coming in within the last couple of days of a porch pirate in Buffalo's Elmwood Village. And a lot of people are complaining this is happening more frequently in the Elmwood Village in particular. Watch as this crook creeps around, walks through what appears to be somebody's backyard, up the path, up the stairs, and then nabs this package, putting it right in the bag that apparently is just, conveniently big enough.
Right, perfect
to fit
size.
that package, and walks right out of that yard. Is that not infuriating to see? I mean, those cameras, not even a deterrent for this crook.
And that's why people have these cameras, right? They're like, okay, this will help out. But now the people have learned not to look into the camera.
Right.
They know, this, I'm going to get caught XYZ. They've gotten smarter. They know what they're doing. And you got to figure out a way to get around it. How do you get around it when you already have the camera?
So Lori says it happened to me this past Christmas.
Me too.
She also says it felt very violating. So during the summer, we have things delivered to an Amazon locker is what it's called. And it's outside a 7-Eleven or in a very well-lit public place. And the Amazon driver delivers the package to that, one locker. And you can request that it's delivered there. It keeps it safe and secure. You enter a code or scan a barcode, and that door just pops right open, and you don't have to worry about anyone stealing your stuff.
Is it annoying to you to have to go out of your way, or is it's just worth it to know your stuff is safe?
I think it's conveniently located.
Okay.
It's just not, in my backyard.
Right.
But it is, always in the back of your mind, I got to go and pick up my package. So Elizabeth says that this happens all the time in South Buffalo as well. Companies are also making it harder to get it replaced since it's happening all over Buffalo. What's your experience, Elizabeth? What did you have a hard time getting replaced?
Interesting.
That's just plain rude, Peter says. May karma hit that porch pirate. Yeah, I get it. I wonder, is this a quality of life issue that needs to be addressed in the city of Buffalo? You know that the mayor, the acting mayor, Chris Scanlon, has made it a priority.
Big into public safety.
Yeah, to make these low-level crimes something that he combats. And with the mayor, it's interesting. There's been a lot of talk, little action, though.
Other than the police commissioner being changed over and that really being the reasoning behind it,
Yeah.
it seems. We don't really know what the plan is. It's very interesting. And we're actually going to talk about it tomorrow when I have my story on bail reform.
Okay.
That's what people are saying is affected here, is these low-level crimes, the quality of life things that are really, there's no more fear for the criminal,
Right.
but there's a lot more fear for everyday people.
But, to the point that, the mayor has said, I want to see more foot patrols out, or I want police to be out of their cars walking the beat. You've been in for more than 100 days, Scanlon. Where are they?
That meme of Judge Judy going.
Right. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
We're still hearing about...
Have you seen more police patrol?
No.
I haven't really noticed it either. A couple people more chiming in. Jeanette says, I'm paranoid now. Do I have to sit by my window because I have a delivery coming before 10? I happen to be home, but we don't have a camera. I guess it shouldn't matter now whether or not you have a camera. Right. You have to sit there, and then if you see them, what do? Go outside and...
Right. You don't want to confront them.
Right. You don't know how dangerous they are.
You don't know what they're carrying either. Lynn, a lot of people have medical equipment delivered to their house,
Right.
even medications. Thank goodness Howard says, I don't live in Buffalo. The acting mayor is a joke, he says. Peter says, I think a local Dollar General has something where they can hold Amazon packages, no lockers. So when people pick them up, it has to be the person whose name is on the package providing ID.
Yeah. I have a little box outside my apartment. You're supposed to put a little lock on it and tell the delivery people to do it. And I did that, and they just put the package right on top of the box. So it doesn't help me either.
Well, you know what, though? And here's the other thing. They have this opportunity for you, too. Like, you could put it in the garage. You could open the garage for the driver if you have a garage, and then close it, whatever. Howard says the acting mayor is a lot of talk, very little to no action. Some tips to protect your packages here: have the package delivered someplace less visible, increase the effort it takes to steal a package by using something like a delivery box that you have, and increase the risk of getting caught by having a camera and alarm.
Or you have someone like Sherry, she picks up her neighbor's packages when she's at work, and then she keeps them at her house, which is really sweet. I mean, you got to work together, right? You're
I was just going to say,
community with people.
Isn't that the whole thing, like knowing your neighbors?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that go such a long way where you can call your neighbor and be like, hey, Jen, there's something on our back porch. Can you just grab that for me and I'll pick it up from you later?
Yeah.
She does that with us too. Everyone's got doorbell cameras nowadays, and, Jen will call us. We love Jen. She's super sweet. She lives next door.
Aw.
She's adorable. But she'll, hey, Ed, can you do me a favor? There's a package outside. I'm not home. Can you just grab it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the benefit of having great neighbors.
That's why you have neighbors.
Kathy says Walmart used to offer ship to store, but I don't see it offered anymore. Oh, that's interesting. Here's what Elizabeth says. Amazon took me calling 6 times before they would resend it. Wow. Now I have things shipped to my mom's house since she's retired. Acting mayor seems more worried about his campaign. Interesting. And here's my other question. What about delivering to work? Do you ever have that stuff delivered to work?
No.
Do you think that would be helpful?
That's probably a good idea. I mean, if I ever had a problem, I would consider it. I've been okay, knock on wood so far, everything's been good. I mean, you already know I don't like returning anything. So if I had to take any extra step or carry anything extra to the car, I'm a little annoyed. But if something were to happen, I think work is probably going to expect best bet.
Megan says, I've had packages delivered to work to make sure I get it.
Smart.
So at least it's been successful for you. Great neighbors are wonderful. Your dad says, love that.
Yeah. I mean, I went over to my neighbor's house to see if my sister's package was there on Christmas Eve, and it wasn't. But, the Ollies would have helped us out for sure.
Howard says, cameras really don't prevent the theft. Most times they can't identify the person either. Right. Oh, well, listen to this. Howard also says, our policy at work would not allow personal packages delivered there.
Why is that? I mean, because they don't want liability or something?
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Never heard of that.
And to his point about cameras, you talk about cameras, especially in schools. They're there as a deterrent, but they're also they're not going to help you in the moment.
Right.
They're going to help you
after the fact.
Exactly. And so if you're trying to identify something that's happened or figure out why it happened.
Retroactive versus proactive.
Exactly. I doubt Anita, I doubt the prison would allow us having things delivered to work. Fair enough.
Well, yeah. Probably not.
Lynn, I wish I could have it delivered to work, but our work mailman, FedEx, UPS, and Amazon can't even deliver it to the correct building. Oh, that's frustrating.
That's half the battle right there.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even know what's being delivered.
They're supposed to take a picture and tell you whatever. The picture's blurry. I don't know where that is. I can't really see it. Are they on some kind of timer or something? I feel like they are rushing. They must have to get a certain number of packages delivered every day. I understand that speed is of the essence, but I'd rather have you take care with my package and I receive it a couple hours later than it just being thrown and left.
It's someplace elsewhere than it's supposed to be delivered. The other thing too, we're talking about safety. What about the safety of pedestrians and people who are in communities that are perhaps less advantaged? So we're talking people who are socially, economically disadvantaged, and also people who have disabilities trying to get around town when things are not conducive to that kind of travel.
Yeah, a lot of people rely on walking to get where they need to go, even in the winter. I mean, you would think that it's freezing outside. I'm not going to see anybody. I'm constantly seeing people, especially when there's snow on the sidewalks, walking in the roads, trying to get to and from where they need to go. And it's
dangerous.
Our city and our area is built for cars. It's built to be in a car and travel in a car. I mean, maybe a bike if you're lucky, but for the most part, pedestrians, I mean, they just have to keep their head on a swivel or wear reflective gear. But a lot of people, have been dealing with it and getting hurt or getting hit by cars. Numbers from AAA say it's up, 80% over the past 15 years?
And a lot of this is because of people who are walking in the streets, forced to rely on walking. And again, these places that don't have, means of transportation. So don't have the luxury of affording a car or a bike, or, you have to take the bus or you have to walk places. The thing is that when you're forced to walk, the chances of you getting hurt are higher. Tons of people, Lori says, walking and riding bikes in the roads, and it causes a problem. But I want to show you what Barb sent to me this morning on Facebook, because I think that she kind of sums it up in a way that's interesting, but also in a way that is understandable. Like the context here is relatable. She says it's mobility during the winter for disabled and seniors that causes a problem. And she says this is a specific problem on Union Road between Genesee and Walden. Barb goes on to say you cannot access the sidewalk because there aren't any cleared roads for mobility devices. So we're talking scooters, we're talking those hover-rounds. Riding the bike in the bike lane is inaccessible because they don't plow to the curb. Winter makes you captive because of inabilities. She says it's sad.
I mean, that word, the use of the word captive
there.
You're trapped. You really have no other option. And then you're really left in danger. Mark, good morning to you. I want to share your comment. You says that the city doesn't care about that. They don't even give tickets for not shoveling because sidewalks are up to the landowner,
Right.
Where you are. If you have a sidewalk on your property, you're supposed to shovel that. And sometimes people don't.
Lynn says, I had a really bad fall this past Saturday outside the gym.
Oh, no.
Sheets of ice everywhere.
Hope you're okay.
Kathy, Camp Road in Hamburg always has people walking in the road, not safe at all. And tell us, where are those dangerous
Yeah, point 'em out.
areas? Because we'd love to go visit them, check them out for ourselves. So you heard Barbara say Union between Genesee and Walden. You were also covering that one area in Hamburg as well.
Lake Avenue in Hamburg.
Yeah.
There is a living facility for elder neighbors on one side of the road. On the other side, they have a Dollar General. There's a Save-A-Lot. The post office is down the street. CVS is across the street. So obviously, a lot of these people don't have cars, and that's why they
Right.
live there, so they can get to everything they need to get to with not having to get in a car and get there. But the speed limit was 45 after some of my reporting. It was 40 rather, and we got to move down to 35. But still, people don't slow down, and they're
Right.
coming over a hill this way, and they just come down super fast, and they have these like flashing lights, but they don't work. I mean, that's just one example, right, of a community, or it's elderly people, and 3 people have died.
Wow.
It's wild to think about.
Lori says someone on Elmwood the other night was in a wheelchair in the middle of the road. And right, when you see somebody in like one of those motorized wheelchairs and they're in the road, don't you just want to pull over and stop traffic for
I
them?
know.
That's to me is so incredibly dangerous and scary because they have no choice but to ride around in one of these things,
Yeah.
right?
And that's what's happening in Hamburg, in that area. I mean, they're riding their scooters, or sometimes it's walkers.
Right.
And they say sometimes they have people honking at them, telling them to move it along. I mean, it's so tough for a lot of people, and I don't think we realize, right? If you have a car and you're going to and from every day, you're probably annoyed, like, oh my gosh, this person's walking. But I mean, they rely on this. What are they going to do?
Elizabeth says the Buff Gen Medical Campus area, if you aren't on the campus, it's insane, not shoveled. No roads are plowed there. Sherry says kids who take the metro to school have to
Right.
walk in the street to get to school. Sidewalks aren't plowed, especially in the Kensington neighborhood.
Yeah, I live right near where Bennett High School is. Anytime between 1 and 4 o'clock, there's going to be a ton of kids standing around walking, and there's that light you can hit to get them across. But Main Street's a super busy road. I'd be horrified to have my kid out there.
Kathy says Southwestern in Hamburg by Tops is
Yeah.
also bad.
I can imagine that too. Anywhere near a grocery store or any kind of somewhere people are going to go grab what they need, you got to imagine people are going to be walking to and from.
Julie says no salt left at BJ's this week. And that's,
I bet.
I've been reading about that too. Obviously we're facing a rock salt shortage, right, in Western New York. But, on store shelves, it's the same thing. I'm reading that there's a lack of ice melt in some of these hardware stores. I'm in a community group for my community, and I see it all the time. People are like, oh, why aren't the sidewalks plowed? Or why aren't the sidewalks salted? Well, because you can't. Because
There's
there is
nothing
no
out there,
salt.
and it's
right.
not even mid-February. So
Frustrating.
I'm over what's left.
Lori talking about, I
The guy in
believe
Elmwood.
Elmwood. Yeah, the poor guy was directing traffic while in his wheelchair. I told him, please let me help you out of the road. Right. And to Barbara's point, it's dangerous for these people to be riding in the street. First off, second of all, they're not allowed to even ride in the bike lane or the bus lane because it's not plowed to the curb.
So I guess what do we do? Where do we go from here? So this is where we were talking about that Union Road area that was pointed out.
Look at the
earlier.
sidewalks.
What sidewalks?
Right.
Where?
That's
Imagine having a
difficult.
walker or scooter, anything like that. You got small kids with you, or a kid going to the bus stop. I mean, it's just a hazard that's scary. So at what point do we say, okay, something needs to change? I mean, we had talked about it. There's some lawmakers that are trying to get something done here.
Sean Ryan, John Rivera.
And there's Go Bike Buffalo. They've been huge talking about this, especially we had so many pedestrian deaths over the summer. So they're trying to get this the community streets. So it's built for pedestrians, bikers, and drivers, rather than drivers and then pedestrians and bikers you kind of left to the side. So they want that to be incorporated in all of the city projects or in state projects, and then make sure that people are more aware, put more infrastructure in our communities.
Kathy says, shouldn't the town be responsible for clearing the sidewalks? And it really all depends. If it's on town property, then sure. But if it's a sidewalk in front of somebody's house, then it's really on the homeowner or the landlord to make sure that area is clear. So it's a catch-22 here. Some places are petitioning. I know in the Elmwood Village in particular, Justine Powers is petitioning to have the sidewalks cleared. She's a business owner. She owns that wine store, Funk and Fermentation,
Oh,
on West Delavan. So, you know, it's kind of like, what do you do? Can the city afford it? And if not, then who does it fall on? What's happening right now?
the accountability is the issue because
Right.
you leave it on the homeowner, and then do they get a ticket? Are people actually getting tickets? And you put it on the city,
Yeah.
and then you have to hold them accountable if nothing changes.
Great conversations, everyone. We got to get the show on the road. Thanks so much for being with us.
Have a great day.
See you tomorrow.